Hi, welcome to Blind Sailing, where we're just going to explore what it's like to come to blind sailing for the first time and join us, and also that first time on the water. And I'm really pleased to be joined by Chris and Kate again. Hi, you guys.
Morning,
Hi.
Lucy.
So, if anyone's listened to our last little chat, we talked about joining blind sailing and what you've got out of it. But we're going to try and touch on really what the emotions are that you get. We've spoke about freedom and all that sort of stuff, but it's those inner emotions that people might be wondering about. So, we're going to touch on what's it like coming to the weekend for the first time. I can say we give a lot of support because I run the charity, but I'm just going to Chris, what's it like organisation wise if someone's turning up for the first time? um, what's it like meeting the group and walking through the door?
I would say even now, for the first, when you turn up, there's always nerves about what's going to go on the weekend and how comfortable you're going to feel and what's the weather going to be like and have I got the right kit. But the team just make you feel so welcome, and they'll just talk you through everything you need to do, what you need to do, what time you need to do it, where you need to be, how to prepare yourself. And it just eases your nerves. But I would always say about sailing, nerves are a good thing. Never go out overconfident when you go out sailing. So those nerves, we all feel them. I still feel them now when I get on my boat for the first time after a few weeks, and keep those nerves and use them.
Yeah, definitely makes you aware of all the different situations. Kate, one thing I try and do, and I don't want to talk about me, but is I try and talk to everyone on their first sort of like introduction to blind sailing over the telephone. Um, how did that affect you? Like talking through what blind sailing is, who you'll meet, and a few names. Is that something that really helps? We've now added in our try sailing online course, which you've also experienced, but let me know a bit more how that first telephone call felt.
It was actually quite interesting because you said, I remember, it's just like that instant flashback. Like, I think I was leaving my house and you rang me. I was like, who's this ringing me? And I was like, I wasn't prepared to have the conversation in my head. Um, and it really did open, excuse the pun, it did open my eyes to what the charity can give you, because it was entirely up to me whether I joined in on a really big training session and went with it, or I tried something, I don't want to say less that's tamer because that's not the right phrase, but something that was not so um, more aimed towards something like
Begin.
the um well, training for like the championships and things. So it was the weekend that I decided to come on. The first one was the best one I could have chosen, I think.
Yeah, it gave you an all-round perspective, didn't it? I think.
Yeah.
And that's something the charity tries to do. We have different phases of where we're just running normal sessions, and sometimes we're running more sessions to develop people for world championships. But everyone is totally welcome into the group. So I'm just going to touch on now. So some of the volunteers spoke about that first hello. Once you've made the first hello, it's a handshake for life, and I think I'd agree with that.
That is so true.
Yeah, and that handshake creates like a bond, and I know Kate's been using that word bond, but Kate, we're now down on the water. So we've had onshore briefings. Everyone's beefed. Everyone goes through the boat, what sails it's got on it. We make you familiar with everything. You get to meet your crew on shore, everything like that. But for this little chat, what's it like when you place your foot into the boat? And Kate, you're B1, so no sight at all. So
Yeah.
totally new surrounding, isn't it? Totally new experience. Just describe
Yeah.
what it's like when you put your foot on the boat for the first time.
So stupidly, and I would say idiotically, I knew the boat was going to move, but I didn't expect it to move with that degree, and it totally and utterly freaked me out. Just putting my toe on the unstable surface, I wasn't prepared for my own reaction. To be totally truthful, it totally threw me, and um, it's funny until you go to you join into a chat like this, it makes you really think about how far I have come since then. Um, that uncertainty, that fear comes straight back. But actually, without, like Chris said, without those nerves, you wouldn't be able to perform as well, I don't think. The
Yeah.
day you don't have nerves is the day you probably need to worry, and you won't perform as well.
Yeah. So the movement of the boat is something you expect, and I think we've helped a lot with our tri-sailing courses about explaining the safety aspects and the theory of sailing. But we've spoke a lot about freedom, mental health in our last. How has it affected you health wise? Sort of balance, coordination. Has it helped you sort of like focus some other core skills?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not necessarily as fit as I want to be, but I am working towards it. It's given me an ambition, a reason to keep focused and to, try and be healthier. I've changed my diet, a lot. I still have those treats, but then everyone should have a treat every now and again. And it's made me my mental health outlook on it is completely different to what it used to be.
Yeah, definitely. So, Chris, you're a little bit more experienced than Kate, a little bit further down the journey, but you still must remember that first time placing your foot on board a boat.
Yeah, for me, because I've got some vision on B3, um, it's still every boat's different, and I still need people to show me and put my hands on parts of the rigging so I understand how things work. I'm an ex-engineer, so I like to understand what does what and why it does it. And that's what the rest of the team helped me with. So physically put my hands on, physically show me how a shackle works, what type of shackle is it, how does this attach to that. I don't want to sit there and be a passenger. I want to be part of the crew and help rig the boat and understand why the boat's doing what it's doing, so that being fully integrated and part of the team, being able to rig and de-rig a boat is all part of it. When you're exhausted, come back in, still got to put your boat away, you've still got to all help each other. There'll be times when you're absolutely exhausted and you can't. Seen that in the World Championships where I just lay on the dock and everybody put the boat away. But that's because I'm diabetic and I've given it my all, and the team recognise that we all have differences, and sometimes certain members need certain things. At the start of a race, my crew know that I need to walk away and just be quiet and be on my own. So we all get to know each other's little idiosyncrasies, and we work with those rather than try and make us all be the same robots, because that's not what we are. We all fit together like pieces of a jigsaw and just make the team work.
Definitely. And I think that's one of the key sort of ethoses of blind sailing. It's about teamwork. It's not taking one person and like you're the sighted person, so you do all the work and I'll just sit here and you take me for a ride. It's definitely about teamwork. And if one person doesn't do their job, the boat doesn't move. And it's all about that learning curve. Kate, what's one thing that you would advise someone, and we have touched on this before, but just touching on this subject, what's one thing you'd say to someone if they're thinking about doing it, and picking up the phone and talking to blind sailing?
I would say that even though there's that trepidation and that uncertainty and that, oh, is it going to be right for me? If you don't try it, you won't ever know. And it is like being welcomed with open arms into a huge family. They'll never let you go. Even if you don't want to turn up anymore, they'll still keep in touch with you. No, it is an amazing opportunity and a chance to take it. You might not have another chance like it, so don't ever think it's not for you.
Definitely. And Chris, you touched on that you've got diabetes. Um, that hasn't stood in your way, has it? If there was someone out there thinking, "Oh, I'm visually impaired, but I've got sort of like an extra illness and it affects me in life in my sport," your diabetes hasn't stopped you, has it?
No, it's probably been helped by blind sailing, because Lucy put me in touch with a Paralympian, and I spoke to him about how he copes prepping for races and between races, and what energy things to use and what carbohydrates to take and what your recovery drink is on the way back in. So the support throughout, whether they're in the team or outside the team, contacts that the team has, there's always somebody there to help you through a problem. We've had some issues with my diabetes throughout the years in different countries, in different events, but we've always got through it as a team, and the team have always rallied around to make sure I'm safe and things work out right in the end.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So I think from this chat, just to summarize for those of you that are listening, um, Kate spoke about her her feelings when she stepped on the boat for the first time, becoming aware of the boat's movement. And that's the same when you'll start to feel the wind on your face, and you get to know, like Chris said, the rigging, touching the boat, feeling the boat, and that's all part of our process. And then the added extras the guys have spoken about, health benefits. Chris has learned a lot about his diabetes that maybe he wouldn't have done if he hadn't have been part of the group and been able to reach out to those knowledgeable people from their Paralympic career. Kate's now on a journey, sort of looking at herself and her own health. And it's lovely that everyone's got different focuses, but it's all through sailing and having the encouragement from the group. So if you're listening, get in touch. So Facebook, Blind Sailing UK, website www.gbrblindsailing.co.uk, or you can just email us at blind.sailing@yahoo.co.uk. Get in touch.